Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. A very windy day and some big-time changes are on the way. Your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up next, and we'll talk about where we may see some frost in the forecast. It's all coming up next.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
Thanks for joining me on Hutch's Weather. My friends at Robert Gibb and Sons want you to know that if you have a commercial project in mind, please keep Robert Gibb and Sons in mind. For over 100 years, we've provided quality service, quality equipment, and quality technicians to boot. Give them a call and please tell them Hutch sent you. Let's go to a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, and we'll take a look at some of the other details with regards to our weather, including current conditions. And some of the wind gusts today have been pretty amazing. So for tonight, we have this northwest flow. Now, here's the cold front. Did you notice it come through? Winds shifted from southwesterly, so ahead of the cold front in places like Rochester, Wisconsin, southwest winds continue. But for us, it's a west-northwest flow, and it's a cold flow. And again, on Hutch's Weather, you get to throw down your comments, your questions. So if you have any, please let me know and drop me a line. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always good to have you here on Hutch's Weather. Okay, let's set this forecast in motion. Now, as we go through the evening hours, notice we'll have a chance for a sprinkle or two along the international border. Otherwise, the wind continues to chug, and the cold pool of air behind this northwest wind will continue to settle in. As we go towards your daybreak time frame, it does look like we'll have a few clouds out west. Notice where there are no clouds, though. Big sky country, Montana, and where we have clear skies and decreasing winds like we will see out in the west, temperatures might get mighty cold, and I'll talk about that in a bit. Clear skies, but still too windy for things to get too cold here in parts of Minnesota, so I'm not worried about frost here. Let's not worry about that. If you have clouds, that will help blanket in some of the heat as we go into the morning hours. I'm less worried about frost in those areas, but at 7 a.m., and that's what, 6 a.m. out there in Mountain Time Zone, we could have some mighty chilly temperatures. Now, the clouds spread our way, so we'll have a few clouds making their way in as we go through the mid-morning hours, and it's going to be a cold day. But late, did you see that batch of clouds starting to build out in Montana? That's a southerly flow. The south winds will help bring back the heat into parts of the western counties. It does look like a cooler day here in the Red River Valley and into Minnesota. I don't expect much in the way of any inclement weather from those clouds as we go through your afternoon and evening, except if you are in parts of Manitoba. Brandon, Manitoba, Winnipeg, all the way down to Winkler, up towards the northern reaches of Lake of the Woods as well. A chance for some evening or late day showers. Don't expect much in the way of rumbles of thunder. Okay, now let's take a look at what we have going on. Howdy, Betty. Good to have you on board. Says hi from windy Barnesville. Indeed, it's windy. We're going to go over exactly how windy it's been. And maybe we'll just go ahead and take a look at some of those details here right now. So first and foremost, as we take a look at a couple of different factors with regards to our wind, check this nonsense out, okay? Winds today. These are peak wind gusts, and look at some of these readings you have here over 50 miles per hour. Now, these winds are measured by the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network, an instrument cluster or assortment of stations across mostly North Dakota, but into parts of Minnesota as well. These were measured well above the ground. So we're talking about close to 30 feet or so off the ground. 56 mile per hour gusts out there, and it was a doozy in the central part of North Dakota. The Devil's Lake Basin seeing gusts over 50 miles per hour as well, and in windy Barnesville and in your area, well, we're talking near 40 mile per hour for those gusts as well. Now, when we take a look a little bit closer to the surface, this is about 6 to 10 feet off the ground, and we're looking at some winds there upwards of 50 miles per hour up near Bismarck, northern parts of Burleigh County, and here in the Red River Valley. It was no picnic either, with gusts over 30 miles per hour. But the strongest of the winds today hitting out to the west, where we did get a few locations with those 50-plus mile per hour winds. Did you feel them out there? Thanks, Clarine. Good to have you on board. Nathan, good to have you on board as well. Clarine from the Bemidji area as well. And as we take a look, we do have some other folks joining in, so make sure you let me know. And I want to tell you, here's a look at that forecast. I promised you some details. Okay, if you're in the Big Sky country of Montana, Sydney, Glendive, Glasgow, all the way out to Malta, Plentywood, Scobie. These areas, including Wolf Point, will have a chance for some areas of patchy frost. It's not going to be a hard killing freeze out there, so I'm not too concerned about too many of your plants, but I would say this: if you have something that's real tender, you may want to grab the blanket out in the big sky country of Montana. Northwest winds will keep things mixed up here in the valley, but we'll still see a few places dipping down into the low 40s. Look at Bismarck, 42 there in Hutch's forecast. As you look off to the east, we'll have a few pockets in Minnesota getting some dry air working its way in as well. It'll be a breezy start to your Tuesday morning. Now, as we take a look at Tuesday afternoon here in Minnesota, look at the cold pool. Afternoon temperatures only in the 50s, low 60s here in the valley. It will be a very cool day. The wind begins shifting here in the valley. I think we'll have quiet winds, but late in the day we'll start to notice an increase. The real gusty southwest winds will begin developing and returning in places like Baker, Montana, Sidney, Montana, Rame, North Dakota, out towards Hettinger, where we'll see a few gusts over 30 miles per hour. But from the south, that's going to return the heat. Folks, we're on a roller coaster that just continues as we go through our week this week, and this is what it looks like. The south winds will bolster temperatures here in the valley back into the 70s on your hump day. Hey, good to see you on board, Bonnie. Thanks for watching. And take a look at this. Right after that, we're right back down with north winds out there, as we'll see some sunshine in the north, but it looks cold up north as a layer of cool air will nestle right in to the border counties up there near the international border. Unhot is what I'm calling Friday. Look at Fargo's low. There will be a chance of frost on Friday. I'll say that again. Frosty Friday facts in your forecast here on Hutch's Weather. Now, some of us will have patchy areas of frost. Pay attention to Friday. If you do have the tomatoes still out there or plants you want to take care of, let's pay attention to that Friday forecast here in the valley. After that, Saturday and Sunday bring, again, more roller coaster activity. 77 on Saturday with some gusty south winds. Then the cold front makes its way through. And look at this. Look at that. Temperatures dipping back down again Sunday and into Monday, as we're expecting them to be down in the 30s for a few of us in the morning. So when we take a look at our records, look at our record lows. 10 degrees was the record low, or is the record low for Fargo tomorrow, and we can get that cold. Hello, Brad. Good to have you on board from Cullum. It says it's windy there. Indeed it is. Some of the gustiest of the winds there in the James River Valley on up into the Devil's Lake Basin. So I would anticipate some chilly and cool conditions for you as well. Now, let's take a look at some other fun facts in the forecast as we head through. Let's look at current conditions right now. So to do that, we'll go ahead and put the clock on so you can see this. And now we're going to look at your right now temperatures. Look at the cool pool making its way in. Can you believe that? We have upper temperature or temperatures in the afternoon when we're usually enjoying highs only in the mid 50s, and it's mid 80s in Minneapolis. So from Minneapolis all the way up into parts near the international border, let's say Langdon, where it's in the low 50s, we have a 30-degree change in temperatures across the region. That's causing the wind to blow, and you can see here Fargo's temperature, Grand Forks temperature on our way down. This air is extremely dry, and when we look at the dew point temperatures, the air temperature on a clear, calm night, it's not calm. And for some of us, it won't be clear either. But where it is clear, look at these dew point temperatures dipping down into the teens out near Baker, Montana. Low 30s out there as well, 27 in Glendive. So if you get cleared out in Glendive and in Glasgow and in Malta, Montana, and if it calms down, look out. It's going to get mighty chilly in a few spots out there. So you may want to allow, the puppies to come on inside, keep those four-legged friends handy out there. So that's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. And by the way, did you happen to know that on Hutch's Weather, at hutchesweather.com, you can get the very latest, not only in the fact that Hutch is broadcasting now, it'll tell you right at the top of the page. See that? Boom, it says Hutch is broadcasting. But if you allow hutchesweather.com to track your location, it's going to tell you what kind of alerts you have here in the Red River Valley and most of southern North Dakota, and as well as Montana, South Dakota, parts of Minnesota. We have a red flag warning. That means burning is dangerous. We have dry fuel in the form of dry grass and a lot of the harvest going on out there. So we've got a lot of dry fuel out there, but we have low relative humidities and very high winds. So fire could spread quickly. That's what a red flag warning is. So be extra cautious with any burning, and in fact, flat out avoid it if you can. A wind advisory lasts until the evening tonight here across much of North Dakota and portions of the Red River Valley. So Hutch's Weather can keep you ahead of the storm no matter where you are. And a fine thank you to my sponsors like David Eggers, State Farm agent here in Moorhead, Minnesota. He's been taking care of Hutch for many, many years. And when it comes to insurance, if you have young drivers like I do, David, give him a call. Give him a chance to get you a quote for what you need. Again, you can click right on the logo here. It'll take you right to the page to find out information you need with all the contact information. Also on Hutch's Weather page, I want to make a time to take a shout out for this. It's Hutch's Weather Kit. Hutch's Weather Kit is proudly presented by my friends at Luther Family Ford, and we are going to have fun. Now, I've got a number of kids signed up, but I want you as well. So if you have or know families with kids who would be interested in helping Hutch figure out this wild weather that we have around the area, I'd love to have you sign up, and here's how. You can head right on over to Luther Family Ford anytime, and that basically will get you to the intersection of I-29 and the 32nd Avenue exit. That's where you go, and this is what you need to know. You can sign up there during normal business hours, or Hutch says you can go to hutchesweather.com and go to the page I just showed you. I'd love to have you sign up there. And again, please share this information with your friends because we want to give everybody a chance to have some fun figuring out the weather. You'll get to learn some more about how Hutch puts together a forecast. You'll get to help me make graphics, and it's an experience that you'll enjoy. And you know what? I have never had a bad day talking to weather kids. So sign up today. For now, though, you can always get the latest in your weather and forecast information by visiting hutchesweather.com, no matter where you are, no matter when you're there. Your forecast is right there. Please follow me on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, go ahead and slap that subscribe button on there. That helps me out in a great way. We'll check back in as this wind continues to blow, and we'll check in with an update on your forecast later tonight where we're talking about frost. Your update a little bit later. But for now,